Hi everybody. Today I want to talk to you about the Y2000, the recognition form for level 1, ages 8 to 10. Remember, your 4-H age is as of January 1 of the current year. Like we talked about on the project record, neatness counts. So if you're going to handwrite into the form, you want to make sure you use your very best penmanship. If you're going to type into the form, that may help you be more neat, and especially if you're worried about having enough room to put things on the form, that might be a good thing to do, okay? Now, you might look at this form and think, wow, it's really long. That's kind of intimidating. But I want you to think of this like your 4-H journal, okay? You can write about all the things that you've done throughout the past year. And so it's a really good way for you to keep track of all of those things. And then every year you can go back and you can look at this form and you can say, wow, look at all the stuff I did this first year. And then you can build on that for the next year. And it may even help you with goal setting in your projects for the future. So this first page is really just filling out all of your personal information, and you want to make sure that you're very complete and get all of the signatures that are required down here at the bottom of this first page. Now, the rest of the form is really broken into sections, and that'll help you keep from getting overwhelmed by it. So this first section and the next several sections have a lot of charts. You want to be sure that you try to fill out these charts as completely as possible, okay? Don't modify the form, just leave it as it is, but try to fill out all of the different boxes. So under leadership experience, you can talk about if you held an office, if you were on a committee, if you helped plan an activity. All of those things are going to go up here. You could talk about what that experience was, what part you played in that, and then what you learned from being involved in that activity. Down here is other learning experiences, and you do the same thing, but you talk about things like camps, fairs, did you give a demonstration, did you go to achievement day? All of those things can go in this chart. Then this next chart is on recognition and awards. And you might be thinking, well, I've only been in 4-H for a year or two. I don't have any recognition and awards. If you did something where you earned a ribbon, then you received recognition. Okay, so if you brought something to Achievement Day, if you brought an animal to the county fair, maybe you went to Regional Achievement Day, or maybe you took an exhibit to State Fair or an animal, all of those things can go in this recognition area up here. This next section is on citizenship. Sometimes it's hard for people to think about what that really means, but basically this is an area where if you did something that made you feel patriotic, that might go in this section. So things like flag ceremonies at camp, if your club did something on Veterans Day, 4th of July, or Memorial Day, voting in your club meetings, or things of that nature. All of those things go down here in this section. Then we talk about community service in this next chart. And again, you want to fill out all of the boxes. And so you can include things from your club, or maybe your county does some community service activities, but you can also include things from your community as well. And that applies on this citizenship section. Now we get into our 4-H experiences and projects. So in 4-H, we really like to talk about learning by doing, or experiential learning. And so there's a cycle, and it's do, reflect, apply. So you do the activity, you think back on what you just did, and you reflect on that, and then you apply what you've learned to something in the future. This section is really going to focus on the do, or what you did, and the reflect, or what you learned. So up here is where you're going to put all of the things that you did in your project. Specific topics of project meetings, maybe you attended a workshop, or you went to a camp that was related to your project area. You can put all of those things up here. You can talk about if you made something in your project and you exhibited at the fair, you can put it up here. And then down here, you're going to talk about what you learned from all of these things. So it might be something that's directly related to something you did. If it was cake decorating and you learned to make stars in one of your project meetings, you might say, well, I learned how to make my stars. But you might also say, I learned how to take my time when I'm decorating my cake so that it looks neater. And you have room for up to 3 different projects, or your most important projects, on the form. Then you're going to get to your 4-H story. And this is an area where you can tell the whole story about your 4-H experience. How you got involved in 4-H, why you joined, what you're looking forward to doing, things that you've learned that maybe you haven't talked about somewhere else in the form, and the things that you like best about being involved in 4-H. This is a place where you can really let your personality shine through. Then you're going to be able to show us some pictures of you in action. And so here you have room for 3 pages and 6 photos, up to 6 photos of you in action in your 4-H experience. So you want to show pictures that show you doing things. Maybe you were giving a demonstration. Maybe you were showing an animal. Maybe you were participating in conference judging at Achievement Day. So you want to put 2 pictures on each page, and then you want a little caption about what you're doing in those photos. And then once you get all of this information put together in your form, you want to put it in a folder. So this is a folder that you can buy from Shop 4-H that you can put your report form in, but you don't have to. You can also just use a file folder like this and turn that into your county. This will help protect your form and your photos, and then it also will help keep things neater when you turn that in. And that's it. That's really all there is to it. I think once you've taken the time to sit down and fill out your form, you'll be really glad that you did. Good luck.